All right, let's come in. Let's come in, you all. Welcome to the Queen of Credit channel, but I guess I'm going to add credit, cash flow, crypto, right? Credit, cash flow, crypto, and corporation. So, for those who are already subscribers to my channel, you know what to do. This is the 5 minutes of fame. So come in, drop your city and or state, say hello, right? Or just say hello, right? So let's drop in the 5 minutes of fame. We got an interesting, very interesting and informing topic today about the dollar. It's time for the dollar to go down. Like Muhammad Ali says, down goes Frazier, right? Down goes Frazier. And so let's talk about the dollar dump, the dollar crash, and how to prepare, right? How to be recession proof, right? How to be recession proof and how to position yourself with your credit, your crypto, and your cash flow. As I try to fix this shirt, right? Your credit, your crypto, and your cash flow. So come in, say hello, right? And hit the thumbs up. I think you can also share this on YouTube as well. So share on YouTube. This is kind of annoying me. Excuse me. Share on YouTube as well. Share this on your YouTube channel. All right, Kenneth, the first one. Actually, you're the first one in, Kenneth. As I'm trying to fix this, I'm just really trying to show my queen, my crown things. I just put it out like that, right? That's what I wanted to do. Got the notification. Good deal. Let me put the clock on, the countdown timer, right? Okay, so come in. You all hit like and hit share. You can share this on your YouTube as well. You can also share this on Facebook. Facebook, I think for the first time, I'm able to live stream from both my personal and my business page. So Kenneth got in. Hello, Toya, checking in from the ATL. What's going on, Toya, from the ATL? Glad you're coming in. You know, let's have a discussion today because we are going through the Great Reset, right? We're going through the Great Reset, and I'm going to help you prepare. I'm going to help you be recession proof, right? Recession proof. So we got H-Town in the house. I'm going to assume that's Houston, Texas. Hello, H-Town. And Periscope, if you're watching on the Periscope, on the scope, or that's soon to be Twitter, search some digital love, pump those hearts. Right? I don't know if you can still swipe right, but swipe right and invite the followers to come in. H-Town is in the house. Kenneth is checking in from Wichita Falls, Texas. Hello, Texas, right? How's the weather in Texas? We're actually expecting some snow in my area in the south, so that's not coming. Right, we're expecting some snow in the south. We got Rich Rio. Hello, Rich Rio from the Chi-Town. We got Rich Rio from the Chi-Town. We got Mr. Porter coming in as well, right? From Texas. Hello, Belton, Texas, Mr. Porter. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, I'm glad you're in. I can't wait to get started, right? We're going to talk about this history of this dollar starting from 1931. The 3 times that people didn't even know that we went through a crash, an economic crash, right? 1931. That one started with the 1929 stock market crash. And then again, a dollar crash or dollar devaluation in 1971. 40 years later, right? A dollar devaluation. Many people don't know all of these started with executive orders from the president. And now in 2021, 50 years later, right? Numbers mean something, people. Just know the government goes by the Hebrew calendar and they go by numbers. So come in, you all. You definitely want to share this one. Sharing is caring. So if you have any loved ones, share this on your personal page so they can watch this very important live stream about the dollar dumping, and going to show you the timeline so you can position yourself, right? Position yourself accordingly. Now, you all do know that when President Trump took office in 2017, right, the national debt was $19.9 trillion. When he took office in 2017, the national debt was $19.9 trillion. In October of 2020, right, the national debt have reached a new high of $27 trillion. That's an increase of 36% in less than 4 years, right? So we got checking in also from Louisiana, south of Shreveport. I think that's Sheila Sweets checking in. Okay, Houston, Texas. We got the Phoenix 33 checking in from Cali. Cali is in the house, right? We got Cali, California is in the house. Um, Hello, Carlos. Hello to you as well. We got another ATL coming in. Atlanta is represented today. Again, you all sharing is caring. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like. Notify that YouTube love the algorithm. So it will notify other people that I am on. So if you have to just temporarily get out of the live chat to hit that like button, make sure you do that. The dollar will be destroyed again as we have 28 seconds and counting. Okay, you're expecting snow as well. Beautiful today weather in Houston. All right, we got Nashville, Tennessee. Right, we got Nashville, Tennessee. I would love to visit Tennessee soon, specifically the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. Would love to see that right about now. We have Tyrone Williams. Hello, Tyrone's from Connecticut. So we got people all over the state saying, right? We have people all over the states. Good evening to everyone. And I cannot wait to get into this topic. Again, sharing is caring. So share this live stream. The dollar will be destroyed. And I should have put ... again, right? So let's first start with the first time that the dollar was destroyed. And in essence, as I show you all the screenshot of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is at 40,441, right? 40,441. So let me get my articles up as I share that with you all. And my thoughts on Bitcoin real quick. A lot of people ask me, Queen, is this now the time to invest in Bitcoin? I'm seeing your post. It's at all-time high. If you, this is not financial advice, right? I'm not your financial advisor. Make your own financial decisions based off your financial education and your own research and due diligence, right? However, I will give you my story and scenario. If it was me, right, and I did not own any Bitcoin, if I did not own any Bitcoin, I would not purchase it right now unless I was looking to trade, right? And what I mean by trade is, okay, you purchasing it, it's still escalating at a high. I would convert that definitely into cash currency, right? Because this is why if it was me, right, I would do that. Bitcoin, along with stocks in the foreseen future, probably around the time frame of January, is definitely going to take a dump, or many people will consider even a crash, right? I think Bitcoin is going to take a big crash by thousands, right? I'm not an expert on Bitcoin, really elementary level, but if I had to take a guess, I would say definitely between 20 and 25,000, even though it's 40,000 today. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, twins. And this is why. Bitcoin is an asset. A lot of people look at it as a currency, right? You even see the prices of gold that took a little dip or drop today, right? Gold prices this week took a drop as well. And they, when I say they, the media, the news claimed that the dollar, right, increased, or the dollar, last year, the dollar fell by 7%, right, or lost 7% of its purchasing power. Market Watch just had a recent article said the dollar is increasing percentage-wise in its purchasing power, and those assets that's connected to the dollar will drop or decrease as the dollar gains its purchasing power or its strength, right? And so this is why I'm predicting that Bitcoin will take a somewhat of a crash and not a dip, because Bitcoin is an asset and it's connected to the US dollar, right? And so this asset, and I'm going to try to speak in elementary terms, and just know Monday, I will be going live speaking about crypto, right? But this asset is like gold, which is real money, right? It's connected to the US dollar. They're paid. And it will take a crash because the government, and I'm going to try to speak in as simple terms as if I can, has shifted, right, their money from their M1 funds, right, to the M2 funds, right? And so with that being said, let me see if I can find the article specifically. I know I shared the article on my Facebook page, so let me just go there. With that being said, a lot of people don't know that the government pumps money both into the stock market, and they do have somewhat of control of Bitcoin as well, right? They rise and fall. Again, if you all are watching me, you coming in, make sure you just take the time. I'm only asking that for the cost of knowledge and participation, right? That you like and share this on your personal page and notify other people so they can get this financial education as well. But what many people don't know is that the government pumps the stock market, right? That's how you see unemployment down, and you see millions of Americans are out of jobs, but yet the stock market is thriving. So this is the article that I shared. Let me share that with you all as well. That, hello, Sean. I'm glad to have you on. I wish you and what's his name? Third Eyes was on, because I love you guys' knowledge and input. And hello, everyone else that's coming in the room. This is going to be a great, great lesson. So I need you all to hide your children, hide the wives, hide the husbands. I need you to tune in to this live stream. This is going to position you either for prosperity or for poverty, people, from here on out, because we are, when I say we, the United States is experiencing yet another economic reset, and the dollar will be destroyed, right? So Gorilla King, glad to have you in too. Another Atlanta in, and Queens Black Bank. Love that name on YouTube. Love that name. And so we got Sean in. So this is the article that I shared on my Facebook, that the Feds, right, reportedly returns $42 billion, right, to Treasury following the November scuffle over funds. So the Federal Reserve's Chairman Jerome Powell, he talks with the U.S. Treasury, during Stephen Mnuchin during the G20 finance ministers and central banks meeting. So whether that means that these funds are returned, right, to the U.S. Treasury, the Federal Reserve is returning these funds, right, to the U.S. Treasury. That means these funds, this liquidity that they had in their M1 to the M2 that they was using to pump the stock markets, using to, that's why Bitcoin has reached 40K all-time highs, right? Those funds, probably when Biden transfers office, will not be available. Now, let's start with the first date that you see in the title. In 1931, right? In 1931, the first date in the title discusses the first time that the dollar was destroyed. So let's get a history lesson on this, right? And I will share the article with you. It's when the Federal Reserve takes the dollar off of the gold standards. This is the first time, right? The very first time, historically dated, that the dollar was destroyed. So now, actually, it was actually recorded that this happened in 1933, right? The United States went off the gold standard, which was a monetary system, people. This is a change in the monetary system, that the dollar, your cash was as good as gold because it was backed by gold, meaning that you could take that cash paper currency, right, and retrieve it for actual money, which in the Constitution is physical silver and or gold. And so you could nullify any payments that creditors demand for payments in gold. United States had began this gold standard in 1879, except for embargo or gold exports during World War One. So World War One, right, was the cause or the transition or the reason for the first dollar destroyed, right? The first transaction. So bank failures happen, and the greatest stock market crash happened as well during 1929. This is what a lot of people don't know. So we had a great stock market crash in 1929, right? And so in 1930, people began to hoard their gold, right? And it made the policy ineffective, hard to put into place, because now the United States did not own the money, which was physical silver and gold, which was then the power. And so this is what happened. Again, it happened in 1933, but I'm going to show you why I put the date 1931, right? So in 1933, President Roosevelt declared a national bank moratorium, where you heard that word again, we're talking about the housing market, and the moratorium where you can't make evictions for people that's unable to pay their rent. Well, now this was called the banking moratorium to prevent a run on the banks by consumers who were lacking confidence in the economy, or they were lacking faith in the dollar, right? And they hoarded their real wealth, the gold and the silver, right? And so President Roosevelt, he stopped, or he forbade or put elimination on banks to pay out gold, right? Or they couldn't even export gold out to other countries that was holding the United States dollar. They couldn't export it, and they could not pay it out to citizens or consumers, right? And so this is because they wanted to increase the amount of gold held by the Federal Reserve, which would increase its power, right? And it would also inflate the money supply or the cash. Do I have, yeah, right? So I have this paper cash. This is what cash used to look like. It did not say a legal, a Federal Reserve note, right? It did not have those writings on there. It did not say this note is a legal tender for all debt. When you saw cash up to this point, right, or up to 1971, they were, or 1931, I'm sorry, they were announced as gold certificates, because you could take this paper, right, fiat currency, and get the real money. Gold and silver by Constitution definition and terms is real money. The paper cash that you have is currency, right? Notice the difference of terms. And so this will inflate the money supply and increase the Federal Reserve's power, right? Because we're, again, World War One, and the country that holds the gold holds the power. And so this is what, and I'm going to share this with you, share my screen again. This is what President Roosevelt got the ideal, and that's why I put 1931. This is why I put 1931, because in 1931 is when Britain dropped the gold standard, and Roosevelt took notes. So this is the year that the seed was planted. So 2 years later, Roosevelt ordered all gold coins and gold certificates of more than $100 to be turned in for other money. It required all persons, all people, to deliver all their gold bullion, gold certificates owned by them to the Federal Reserve by May 1st. Look at the date, May 1st of that year. So at that time, gold price was set at $20.67 per ounce. And I want you all to know, I have talked about how the Wizard of Oz talks about the gold and silver standard. the secrets of the Wizard of Oz about wealth. Did you all know, for example, an ounce or OZ, right? What's gold is and silver is pronunciated in means strength. Though that word OZ translates to strength. So by May 10th, the government, listen at this, people had confiscated or taken 300 million ounces of gold coins, or 300, and this is in 1933. So imagine what's that's worth today. 300 million of gold coins, and check this out, 470 million of gold certificate. They transferred the wealth from the people to the government, and it's happening again in 2021. Right? It's happening again in 2021. So at that time, gold was priced when the people had it at $20.67 an ounce. But in 1934, now because the government had it, they increased the price of gold to $35 per ounce. To $35 per ounce. And so that's why I'm coming out with the Queen of Crypto book, because I want you all to understand that this next transition of wealth is transitioning from cash to crypto. And there is gold-backed crypto. Now, we, as when I say we, the United States will never return to a gold currency that's going to limit the amount of cash or dollars that can be in circulation, right? That can be in circulation. However, any type of currency system, whether it's crypto, that's backed by a gold standard, is just as good as gold, right? So let me read. Mr. Porter says gold was being revalued during that time, exactly. And so in 1934, it was $35 an ounce. Now gold in 2021 is exactly $1,800, almost $1,900 valued an ounce, right? So you can see the progress of growth of gold. Gold was raised to $35, where it remained until 1971. Thank you. So from 1971 to 2021, gold prices has increased 10 times. But this is what I tell people, and I want you all to think about this. Bitcoin has done that in a year. Over 200% gains in Bitcoin. There is crypto that is backed by gold. Most of the population don't know it. Most of the consumers don't even know that this wealth transfer or transformation has taken place already for 2021. They don't know. So you all make sure you hit that like button again and share this information. Sean says they know the dollar is slowly dwindling away, and the reserve currency, there's a rush to debase to zero. Exactly. It is a rush. Let me get back to what I was saying earlier too, is that when people ask me, and that's why I'm creating the Queen of Crypto book, to educate people about this shift, right? And I have to do it fast. I have to do it quickly, because the government is already implemented behind the scenes, and people don't know about cryptocurrency, and they don't understand, right? Now, will gold and silver increase in its value? It will. It will increase. Many are predicting that gold will be approximately $10,000 an ounce, and silver may be $200 an ounce by the end of 2021. Many economists are predicting this. However, Bitcoin is your cash on kryptonite. It's a whole other level. Now, gold have some intrinsic value as well, spiritual values when it comes to money and finances. I don't know if I would get into that live stream. And so when people ask me if they never got into Bitcoin in particular, because this is the most known crypto, and should they get in it now because they're seeing the way, they're seeing the results, and they don't know the difference between trading and holding, This is what I would do if I didn't have it, right? Because you do know that if you are a person that has even one Bitcoin, you are positioned for millionaire status. Now, gold and silver depends on the quantity that you have, will position you for thousandaire status, right? Six-figure thousandaire. But Bitcoin can position you to millionaire status. And if you know how to transfer that Bitcoin or the crypto in particular into real estate, right? Then you can really go to another level financially. So you're not taxed on it, right? You don't want tax. Taxation is the biggest stealer of wealth that there's ever been. And most people don't know this. And so this is what I tell people. You can never go wrong with holding gold, silver, or Bitcoin. And it's other cryptocurrencies as well. Bitcoin will be the forerunner to prepare all of these currencies. So again, when people ask me, is it too late for Bitcoin? It may be. Depends on your financial status. When people ask me, is it better to trade or hold? I tell people, listen, if you didn't get into Bitcoin last year during the halving, when it was between 3,000 to 6,000, because Bitcoin will never zero out and it will never drop to those lows again, right? So if you're getting into Bitcoin when it's above 25, 28, 30,000, and it takes a drop below those levels of 25, 28, and 30, it will be best if you wait till the drop happens, right? But some people say, well, I want to trade. And this is what I tell people. I understand if you're getting in now and you're seeing your gains and you want to cash out and trade, I understand that. However, just know trading will cause you to lose your quantity of Bitcoin that you own or any cryptocurrency that you own. And when it comes to cryptocurrency, because of where it's headed, quantity is always better than cash, than currency. Let me say that again. Because of where this crypto world is headed, and Bitcoin in particular, your quantity, the number that you have, is always better than whatever cash amount that you got out of it. And this is why I don't trade. But again, if you're getting in now at this all-time highs, then trading may be the best option for you. Again, this is not financial advice, because now when it gets at the dip, you won't lose. And I tell especially beginners, you never ever, one rule of investing is you never get in when it's high. When it's in the green, wait till it dips to the red. You always buy low, and then if you want to, you can sell high. But I tell people all the time, why would you get rid of your asset? Bitcoin is an asset, people. It's not a currency. It's an asset just like silver and gold. And when you trade, you are losing your quantities and you are only trading it for cash, which is depreciating and it's about to be destroyed. So you're trading in the quantity of an asset for liabilities. Now, if you're getting in and you made some thousands, again, not financial advice, but if it was me, I would now convert that cash, because when the dip happens, or some people say the crash, right, then I'll be able to get it at the lowest level that you'll ever see, because I think that once this crash happened, and this is why I believe the crash is happening, it wants to scare some people out, right? Let's scare some people out. Some people thought, and it's going to scare the normal people without an education about cryptocurrency out. Oh, it went to 40,000. Now it took a $15,000 dip or hit. I knew that this wasn't going to be anything. And those people may scare out. That's one reason. But if you know that this is an asset and it's not a currency, and you should never trade assets. See, cash is only valuable when it is converted into assets. Can I have somebody to put that in the notes for me, please? Right? Cash, somebody please type that in for me. I don't think my moderators are in. Cash is only valuable when it's converted into assets. Cash is trash. And if you don't convert it into assets, you're holding paper. The paper, this is not even worth the paper it's printed on or the cotton that is used to produce it, unless you convert this into the assets. And the issue is people don't know right now during this great shift or transformation what the true assets are. So if someone type that in for me, right? Cash is only valuable if it's converted into assets. Other than that, cash is trash. So you have to know what your assets is. Phoenix 33 says, praying for my healing. I haven't been sick at all. I don't know what you mean. But thank you for your prayers, right? But I'm not sick at all, right? Bitcoin is going to make people some millionaires. Thank you, Mr. Porter. And gold and silver, depends on how much you can afford, right? It's going to can make you some thousandaires as well. I'm just telling you where this Bitcoin is going to go. Let me share some more articles with you as well. Let me see. That Joe Biden will be definitely, right? And so some people are saying, and let me tell you how it is. They're making homes and houses right now unaffordable for the middle class. And Bitcoin. You have low interest rate, right, for mortgage loans, but they're overpriced. Mr. Porter, and you're right, but you know what else is back in cash? Humans, people. You all are the only thing that's back in cash right now. At first, it was called, after 1971, after gold did not back it, then it was transitioned name to the petrodollar because the United States made a deal with Saudi Arabia and the Arabians to only sell its oil for cash. So that began to back it and strengthen it. And now Saudi Arabia has stopped the production of their oil by millions of barrels a day. And they're doing economic reset as well, where they are selling, they're no longer converting their oil for US dollars. So you know what's backing the dollar now? People that work jobs, labor. Why? How is that, Queen? Because you are doing it in the form of taxes. See, the Federal Reserve, right, borrows the money from the U.S. Treasury. That money has to be paid back with interest. And guess who's paying that interest? Your human labor, right? You. Every time you get your paycheck, the feds take a big chunk out of it because your labor is backing that dollar. And this is why I tell people to get them a home-based business, right? Because they need to convert themselves from an asset for the government to an asset for themselves. They need to make their name your personal name. You need to make yourself a corporation. You need to transfer your social, your SSN to an EIN number. And you need a home-based business. This is the power of what a home-based business does, right? So in other words, just keep enough cash to cover your living expenses and convert the rest into appreciated assets. Right, but this is the thing, right? Exactly, they give their power other ways too. But this is what most people don't know, Mr. Porter, is that all countries now, the US dollar will not be the reserve currency anymore. The government is not going to back it with their military anymore. Every currency, that's why you have Japan and China with the digital yuan. is going to have its own digital currency with its own stable coin. This is crypto education that people need. The US dollar, there will be no dominant world reserve currency of exchange. It will not be the world reserve currency anymore. My book, right, Queen of Crypto, is going to reveal all of that in education, right? In education. Sean says the rest of the world has given up on the dollar. We're living on borrowed time as the dollar get removed from its number one spot. Exactly. So all countries will have a digital one, and let's go into that. Let's go into that, right? Because what you all don't know is that when President Trump signed Executive Order 13772 in 2017, he gave power to fintech banking. You all maybe don't even know what fintech banking is. But let me say it in short, and this is going to be more detailed in my book, right? Fintech banking allows mobile banking. Just last week, banks have been giving the approval to use stable coins, right? US dollar, no longer world reserve currency. All countries will have their own cryptocurrency or crypto cash. Pretty soon, you won't even see the paper anymore. And this is where the post office and the government funded the post office came into play. You all know when you go to the post office, right? You give money orders. The post office is still a banking institution for the unbanked, for rural areas. That's why the government pumped all that money into the post office to transform the post office for this crypto world that's arising. And so now you have fintech banking, right? And what fintech banking did was increase the liquidity, but it increased it to larger banking institutions, right? Not to commercial or to the smaller banks. Commercial banks will be done away with. You'll only see the large banking system in fintech banking technology through banks like Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, right? You'll see more of those banks appear. That's why you have bank closures. That's why Bank of America's been closed. They're transitioning to accept the stable coins. And you have right now some cryptocurrency people under $1 that people can get in that will produce them thousands, right? Because honestly, to really be a millionaire out of Bitcoin, you're going to have to at least have a whole Bitcoin. You can buy Bitcoins at a fraction, but you're going to have to at least have a whole Bitcoin or several Bitcoins. And if you're not a person that's in that position, even if Bitcoin drops at 20,000, right? Let's say if it drops at 20,000, if you don't have 20,000 to purchase a whole Bitcoin, then it will be better for you to get what is called some altcoins, right? Altcoins that will still position you. And this, my book is going to reveal this. It's going to show you all of the cryptocurrencies that's even backed by gold, right? Said take your money out of the bank before they close the doors. Excellent content, time to know the truth on it. Why can't banks convert our dollars to crypto? There's a lot of people that may know about this financial reset. Banks will. It's going to get to the point with fintech banking. Let me kind of go into fintech banking. With fintech banking, that everybody's going to have smartphones. No more your grandmother or great grandfather having a flip hardcore phone. It's going to be mobile banking. Everyone is going to have a smartphone, right? I heard people ask, well, why is it that smartphones are available but not the PS5s? Everyone's going to have a smartphone. They did this in Kenya for the poverty people that was in poverty in Kenya. And they gave access to them everyone in Kenya, now even the lowest poverty level people have access to smartphone banking technology right now in Kenya, right now, through fintech banking. So some small examples of fintech banking is PayPal. That's why you're able to purchase crypto on PayPal, Square, Cash App, Venmo, peer-to-peer lending, Apple Pay, Google Pay. These are all examples of fintech banking. Fintech banking even goes deeper than that. It's going to change the current credit system. But you all know that? It's going to change the current credit system. And see, this is what really got me into crypto, because I began to study FICO 10 and how the credit system would be changed through this crypto technology. Because once I started to find out that cryptocurrency will be used, you can't use it. You can use certain cryptocurrency. I'm going to have this in my book as well, to obtain credit. I thought to myself, whoa, cryptocurrency is here to stay, and there are assets, because you can use cryptocurrency, some altcoins, to get credit off of. So I began to study crypto from the credit perspective. Right, some banks already have those digital wallets in place. And people, this is not the same as electronic banking. I don't want you to think that cryptocurrency is the same. Digital wallets and cryptocurrency is not the same as electronic banking. It's not the same as being able to take your smartphone, scan a check, right, and make a bank transfer. Digital wallets is much deeper than that, right, and detail. Sean says the Great Reset, check the G2 Summit report. This is public information. The truth is being revealed in plain sight. All we have to do is look. Sean, is for some people, it's not plain sight though, because they don't know this information. They don't know the history of the reset of 1931 to 1933. And citizens' gold was confiscated, and they had the option to either turn in their gold, right, or $10,000 fine or 10 years imprisonment. They don't know in 1971, the other Great Reset happened, and President Nixon then removed the dollar from the gold standard for being attached to gold, and the dollar became debt, a debt-based instrument. So when people saying I'm getting out of debt, right, if you don't know how to get out of the cash and now make your assets produce cash flow, you're not getting out of debt. Let me say that again for the people that doing the Dave Ramsey debt-free scream. Hey, I'm debt-free. I'm out of debt. No, because you have no assets. You only have cash. And when you only have cash, you are in debt, because cash is debt. The fiat currency is debt. So what really makes you free, which Dave Ramsey teaches against, is assets. Because cash is not king, cash is trash. But assets produce cash flow. And cash flow is king. It's king, but not because of what you're getting in return. Cash is the lowest yielding asset there is at 0.003%. What makes cash flow king is the asset that you have, because the asset is going to appreciate in value as the dollar depreciates and loses its purchasing power. See, when Biden begins to start producing and pumping out free cash and stimulus, this is going to cause hyperinflation. We're going to have high unemployment and high pricing on your everyday goods and services. And the dollar is going to be destroyed and devalued even more. Right? 2021 people, numbers, as my mentor told me this morning, numbers mean something. Queen, he said numbers mean something. 1971, 2021, 50 years later, the Great Reset. 1931, Britain removed their dollar off the gold standard. The United States began, the seed was planted in 1931. And then 40 years later, 1971, Nixon totally removed it from the gold standard. Everything is always strategically planned by the government. That's why it doesn't matter what president, right, is in office, right? They're going to go with the plan because this stuff has strategically been planned out years ahead of time. Republican is red, Democrat is blue. Democrats are blue. Neither one of them care for you, right? Republicans are red, Democrats are blue. Neither one of them care for you. Whoever gets in office has to go with the plan. Power never fights power. Money never fights money. I have a video on my YouTube channel explaining that all presidents have the same bloodline and they are related. Money doesn't fight money. Power doesn't fight power. Exactly, Mr. Porter. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, right? You're absolutely right, Sean. So ignorance really is bliss, but it's not really bliss. You know, the problem is people have too many television in their home and they don't have enough time to study and research, and they're too distracted. I mean, really, people, have you ever thought about this? If a reporter had the time to take the picture of someone sitting in the Capitol with their feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk, and the media person has time to click, 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 that person, even that picture looks staged. Like the person just posed for the picture. I mean, if the media had time to snap that picture, you don't think security had time to come and remove the person out the office? Really? But see, it's distraction like these that people don't know what's going on. They don't know about this currency reset. They don't understand that this dollar is being destroyed again. So is it safe to keep our money in the bank, even though it's really not good to let it sit away? It's never, let me say it this way. If you have excess money, it's never, I mean, they don't care about your cash sitting in the bank. Your banking account balances are still going to be accurate. They don't care about that trash. I mean, that cash and trash sitting in there. They're not trying to steal cash anyway. The banks don't even want it. They trade your cash overnight, right? Through Forex and through the repo market. They don't even want your cash, right? The banks want assets. So you having your cash stacked in your home is not, really, in my opinion, a safe haven if you don't have your cash converted into assets, where it's growing and it can outpace inflation. And that's what cryptocurrency is doing. It's putting your cash on kryptonite. Why would you just have your cash sitting in a home and it's losing value when you can have it over into the crypto market and get gains like this on a daily basis? Inflation averaged about 3 to 5% a year. The crypto and Bitcoin just took another, just for today, right? It took a dip, but you're getting cryptocurrency, even like Ethereum, that's getting 6% on the day. You can't find a better performing asset. Bitcoin just gave percentages on today, right? It's probably going to be up again before my live stream is over. So you're having cryptocurrency that's giving you daily interest, that's kryptonite your cash, right? So, me, I have my currency in the bank so that it can pay my essential bills, because that's what the bill collectors take, right? Monique said left wing, right wing. It's still, left wing, right wing, still the same bird. Still the same birds. Curtis says the bank want assets, home, or cars. And Curtis, this is another myth that people have been taught, that the banks don't want your homes, right? They don't want to foreclose on you. They don't want your property. They don't want to have to maintenance that. The banks have to keep the lawn mowed. They have to no. That's just the opposite. The banks want your property. They want you to bankrupt on your house or your mortgage. And this is why. Now, this is what banks don't want. They don't want the administrative part. They don't want to be administrators of you paying them on time. They want the assets, but they don't want to be administrators of the payment. So this is what the banks want. They want to deal with business people. And this is what Trump's executive order signed in 2017 positioned them to do. Again, Trump's executive order 13772 signed in 2017, right? Oh yeah, you're right. Cars don't have any value in it. I know he said banks want assets, homes, or cars. No, they really don't want. They really don't want cars, but they want your homes, and this is why. Let's think about this in an apartment complex perspective, right? Or from a landlord. Let's say the banks lend a landlord a loan, right, to purchase let's 3 houses, right? This person wanted to invest in residential house, or the bank lend a landlord a loan to purchase a multifamily or an apartment complex, right? Now the banks, the landlord might have to do the administrative responsibilities of collecting rent from 30 people, right? Let's say the landlord has 30 people, a 30-person complex, apartment complex. But the banks only have to accept one payment for one person. So the banks know that, hey, if we get our assets back, these houses, these multi-units, we can now not have the administrative responsibility of collecting mortgage from all of these people that you know, and now we just have one person to collect the mortgage from that oversees 3 to 5 houses. So the banks want this to be a renters nation and not a mortgage or home buying. So they're making homes really unaffordable now for the middle class. And Bitcoin is doing the same thing, right? Making it unaffordable for the middle class. Exactly. So we're talking about houses and residential property, right? Yeah, crypto is cash. Cryptocurrency is cash on kryptonite. I know you all know Superman and what kryptonite did for Superman. That's what cryptocurrency is. And yes, the banks want your property. Why? Because it is a real asset. It's a real asset. It appreciates. They want appreciating, right, property. Sean says our house and cars are a liability when it doesn't generate cash flow. Right. Grant Cardone says own where you live. Isn't that something? Grant Cardone says own where you live. If the house that you're living in, the condo, the apartment, is not generating you cash flow, it's not an asset, it's a liability. This again is why I tell people to join the home-based business that I'm affiliated with and connected with, because it can make it an asset for you. Meaning square footage in your home or your condo or your apartment is now tax deductible, right? The kids or your children that live in there with you, now you can get a tax credit up to $12,000 to have your children to work in your home-based business. Your utilities, your cell phone bills, right? Percentage of your utilities that you pay. Now the cash is flowing out in terms of bills now become business tax deduction. And so I tell people all the time, listen, people, no one that's ever rich and wealthy has said these 3 words. No one. that is rich and or wealthy has ever said these three words. Let's say 4 words, right? 4 words. I have a job. Said no one ever that is either rich or wealthy. Ever. I have a job. Ever. All of these people, and not only do you need crypto in your portfolio, but you need a corporation. Because if you're trading Bitcoin, right, then you're going to get taxed and you're going to get fees for your trades. And so the only people that there are 2 people that trade cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. Number one, people that's low on cash reserve, and they don't understand that they're giving up the golden goose for the cash cow. Let me say that again. They don't understand they're giving up the golden goose that produced the golden egg, the asset, for the cash cow. But they have low cash reserves. They're trying to build their cash up, but they're giving away an asset, right? That's number one. Number two, the other person that trades cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, they understand that I'm converting an asset into cash, but they're stacking their gains and cash just to go in and buy the dip or to buy other cryptocurrencies as well. So they're trading cryptocurrencies for assets, not to keep the liability of cash on hand. Doesn't that make sense? Because if you're trading cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, just to get more cash, you're not getting more money, you just get more currency. And you're going to get taxed, and you're going to have exchange fees or other fees for cashing that out. So you're giving up the golden goose for the cash cow, people. Understand what you're doing. I'm not against trading, but if you're going to trade, right, trade to get another asset, not to get it into cash. And if you're going to invest now while it's high, you might want to trade out your cash and sit and wait for the dip. Now, again, I don't give financial advice. I just give financial education. The dip will come again because the Federal Reserves want, in the U.S. Treasury, want that money back, the M1 to the M2 funds. Mr. J says, why wouldn't banks just go out and buy properties versus lending, which has a high risk or default? Because banks want cash flow, right? And if they went out and bought properties, I don't understand what you're saying. Because they go out and buy properties, it's still the same way. They still own the properties. Most people that buy homes right now, because they're overpriced, you don't have enough cash to save to buy a house. Not with inflation and not with taxes. You'll never save enough cash to be a home buyer. And so what happens is you have to take out a loan, and they get you by saying low interest rate. They don't tell you they jacked up the cost. And so that's how they do own the properties. When you sign that paper, right, you are now the instrument of indebtedness to the bank, and you are now the bank slave because you have to repay that loan. And so that's why Grant Cardone says to own where you rent. When you can get other people to work for you or to rent out from you, or you can just convert your house or wherever you reside into the home-based business that I'm affiliated with. Right. Never go back to cash is going backwards. Keep enough cash reserve to pay your essential bills. Right. Exactly. Banks own the paper and they own the contract and they get the cash flow because banks understand. And I said this earlier, Mr. J, you probably got in a little late, that cash flow is king and cash is trash. And this is why cash flow is king and why cash is not king. right? Cash flow is king because it's always backed by real assets. The only way to get cash flow is through assets. Like a home-based business, you get cash flow back for that. With the home-based business, the IRS tells you 475 times yes to business deductions. You get 475 business deductions with the home-based business. The IRS says yes 475 times. With a job, you only get tax exemptions. Listen to the language. And you only get told yes 15 times. This is another thing that people don't understand how to be recession proof. It's called hybrid entrepreneurship. Even if you have a job, you have to add a home-based business to it. So everyone, again, that's rich and wealthy never said these 4 words. I have a job. They've never said those 4 words. They always have assets and they always have businesses. Exactly, the spiritual king. That's what I said earlier. You can flip that and make your home, condo, apartment an asset only through a home-based business. And the one I'm affiliated with teaches you the 475 business tax deductions from an IRS former expert. He trained the IRS employees, right, on how to audit and about the business tax deduction. He's an IRS expert, Sandy Botkin. That's with the business that I'm affiliated with. And so you have a lot of people as well that's getting taxed more out of their paychecks because of Trump's PPP tax plan provision starting this month. If you are people that's seeing double taxation out of your paycheck as a result of that, then you definitely need to join the home-based business, right? One of my best testimonies is someone that joined the home-based business with me, my business partner, $1,400 more out of every paycheck. No overtime, no promotion, right? No overtime, no promotion. And so let's discuss Biden and his role in destroying the dollar, right? Let me see if I went to the right page. Biden and his role in destroying the dollar. As Biden preps the $3 trillion stimulus, Bitcoin could be set to erupt. Right? Biden's financial stimulus plan could send Bitcoin price rocketing higher. And again, people, if you don't have thousands of dollars to get one Bitcoin, I would highly advise, again, I don't give financial advice, to at least get the other altcoins. Again, you have altcoins now that's going to propel this crypto that you can get invest in for less than $1. Again, my Queen of Crypto book should be ready early next week, right? So the incoming Biden's administration plan to flood the U.S. economy with trillions of dollars could ignite the next leg of BTC bull market as more investors seek refuge from the crumbling United States dollar, right? ACOs and Arlington-based news outlet reported Thursday that Joe Biden asked Congress to increase Americans with $2,000 in stimulus payment to help offset the economic devastation of the C word. The incoming president has proposed $3 trillion tax infrastructure, right, package as part of this Build Back Better program. This is going to further destroy the dollar again. So I'm not even impressed with people that show snapshots or screenshots of their bank accounts anymore. You're not impressing me. You're holding on to the lowest yielding asset that there is, right? I mean, Airbnb might have a comeback. I'm pretty sure it will when the C word gets better. But right now, people are losing thousands on Airbnb because of the travel restrictions, and people are not traveling because they're afraid of the health pandemic or plandemic. Curtis says, in today's economy, a person can be the cowboy or the horse. controlled by the cowboy. You're absolutely true. Sean says, eventually we may start to price things in Satoshis. Remember, Bitcoin has 8 decimals, and where the dollar only has 2. It's genius when you think about it. It is genius. And that is genius. Sean, I never thought about it from that perspective. Now let's talk about crypto and credit real quick, right? Did you all know, and we're still talking about the timeline of the times that the dollar were destroyed. Now, again, we said 1971, President Nixon, or I said, remove the dollar from the gold standard. Did you all know that the Fair Credit Reporting Act was not passed until 1970? So credit, again, will take a transition because this was passed in 1970 in order to prepare for the dollar being destroyed the very next year into 1971. Your credit people will be affected as well through fintech banking. I'm still getting more information on that. And so a lot of and I'm not saying Experian, TransUnion, Equifax will still be here, right? They're not going anywhere. They're still going to be here. However, there's going to be more opportunities to get credit approval through cryptocurrency. And then you're going to have fintech banking institutions like Upstart that will be available for people in the lower credit profile or no credit, right? Upstart and things like that. So your credit is taking, that's why FICO 10 was announced last year. See, look at the trends, right? Look at the trends. FICO 10 was implemented last year of 2020. And just like the Fair Credit FCA Reporting Act was implemented in 1970 before 1971, FICO 10, a change in the credit, and I keep telling people credit is the core to all this crypto as well, was implemented last year in order to prepare for 2021, right? So if you want credit assistance, go to my website, www.fixmycreditandcash.com. If you are have invested in a credit consultation, then it's $125 answering those people's credit consultants information as well. You can also message me on fixmycreditandcash.com or email me rather if you're a client. You have my email address there. People that message me, you're probably gonna have to wait because I have to get to my clients first, right? My paid clients first. And so Trump bans, let's look at this last article, and then I'm logging out. Let me look at my comments. Tyrone Williams, not to get off topic, Queen, asking that you receive my wife's information. I don't know who your wife is. I don't know your wife's name. Give me a name, or if you don't want to include her name on my live stream, drop the email address in and I will look it up after I log off this live stream to see if I receive her information. So Trump bans Chinese payment apps, right? Alipay, and if you know Alibaba, this is another fintech banking company, and WeChat, right? Articles there billions of dollars toward Bitcoin. This is $1 billion or $1 billion asset, people. If you got one of these, or if you can get one, when it takes its last crash or dip, you'll position yourself for prosperity against, and you'll recession-proof yourself. So this article, right? Let me see if I can find the date. It's a recent article. I can't find the date. But cryptocurrencies may see a boost between China and the United States as American President Trump has signed an executive order, another executive order signed banning financial transaction with China, with 8 China-based payment applications. Following the signing of Trump's new executive order, popular payment apps including Alipay, WeChat, and Tencent's QQ will be banned in America in exactly 85 days. This is going to just put Bitcoin up sky high. Bitcoin, people, is a 10x improvement on gold. I'm just gonna tell you that it's a 10x improvement on gold. But silver still is the poor man's gold. If you can afford silver right now, priced at $30 spot price, silver is also expected, right, to give you a rate of return on your investment from $100 to $100,000. You invest, if you want to know about silver, you need to invest in my silver stacking report. It has the number, I think 5 or 3 on my list. Gives you a 300% return, right? 300% return on that silver. I also have, if you want to invest in silver bars versus bullions or coins, right? Or rounds. You need to know the difference between coins, rounds, bars, right? You need to know the difference between 0.999 silver and 0.9999 silver, right? Fine silver and industrial silver. Silver will also be used for refrigerators, the RFID chips, the catalytic converters. It's used for industrial and monetary use. For this Wi-Fi technology, silver is going to be a big return on your investment. And gold is an attractor of wealth, right? I'm dropping nuggets here, but just know gold is an attractor. It's a magnet, 22, 24 karat gold. And so I will also come out with a Get Gold report as well. So this move by President Trump, an executive order, right, that's going to put Bitcoins in the billions with Alipay and WeChat, right? Will be banned in 45 days. So let me show you our executive order that banned this. Trump said that it was for national security reasons, but it's to propel Bitcoin, right? And Trump's executive order 13772 also did away with the Dodd-Frank Act that President Obama's administration, or weakened the Dodd-Frank Act that President Obama's administration implemented, which really stops banks from lending to people that were unable, right, to predatory lending. But now, under Executive Order 13772, signed in 2017, right, President Trump had just increased fintech banking. I told you all examples of fintech banking. What it does, it makes mobile banking and smart banking, right? We got Kenya, Africa, even everybody, rural people, most poverty-stricken people. That order 2017 ignited crypto, right? And that's why people ask me, is Bitcoin a scam? Bitcoin is going to make billionaires. Bitcoin is going to make billionaires, right? Sean says, man, when they approve the ETF for BTC, that's when the money is going to flow in exponentially. And so I'm telling you, and that's why it's going to take a crash. And it's going to scare some people out, but I'm holding, not trading. I'm holding my asset. I'm holding my asset. This was the executive order that was signed January the 5th while you all were distracted talking about the Capitol. Here it is. See, distractions. Talking, man, if that was us at the Capitol. If that was black people, okay, you better be on this green crypto. You better be on this green crypto. All the new fintechs are in position to accept crypto, square paper, exactly. Exactly. So be careful too when people are selling you these old, outdated credit dispute letters and packages. You don't want to invest in them right now. I'm telling you, Upstart, the credit will be transformed as well. You don't want to invest in it right now. They might be outdated. You want someone like me that's on top of the credit game and how it relates to crypto. So this was the executive order 13873, right? He dealing with the national emergency in respect to the information, communications, technologies, and services supply chain. So you got communications technology, right? And it actually says declared Executive Order 13873 on May 15, 2019. Securing information and communication technology and supply chain. And so you have control, the software development controlled by persons in China's Republic, Hong Kong. They're saying national security, but this is just to propel Bitcoin into the billions. And that's what that did. And so you want to be up on crypto. You want to know exactly what cryptocurrencies. If you don't have thousands to get in Bitcoin, don't worry. You still can be better positioned for this recession. You still can be recession proof. There are other cryptocurrencies right now. And again, I'm going to reveal that through my Queen of Crypto report that you can still convert your cash in. Queen of Silver stacking report, you definitely get that in. And if you can afford gold, 22, 24 karat, if you know, a tractor or a magnet is spiritual money, is God's money. You remove the L from gold, you have God, attraction of wealth. So this is what this is doing, people. This is recession-proof strategies. The pandemic is deepening a wealth divide among young people. Either you're going to be millennial rich or millennial poor. There's no in between. And the same way with this wealth transfer. And people don't let me say this. Let me stop sharing the screen. People, you know what? If you have $600 to invest and you saying, hey, I'm going to get into Bitcoin. I'm going to get a fraction of Bitcoin with $600. And you have a 600 credit score, because of the small percentage of the fraction that you would get from Bitcoin with a $600, especially even if it takes a dump at 20K, right? Let's say if it's at 40,000. Let's say if it goes back to 20,000 or 25 or 28. People, $600 with a bad credit score, your gains in Bitcoin is not going to leverage out the gains of interest that you're paying out with bad credit, right? It's just not. So you probably would be better off investing it to get your credit up so you can stop paying out high interest rates to these banks and lenders with bad credit. And now that positive overhead or cash flow that you have, invest in some of the smaller altcoins. Because the people that's happy about Bitcoin gains now, they planted these seeds last year or before last year. They didn't cash out in 2018 when it hit its all-time high of 2018 at $20,000. People that's happy about Bitcoin's 40K right now got in before the halving when it was between $3,000 and $6,000. So if you just have a little bit, that's fine. Because guess what? God said if you be faithful over little, he'll make you rulers over many. Right? You can still, God said if you have just small faith, the size of a mustard seed, just that little bit in the altcoins can get you a great return. But again, if you're not in position to own at least one or more Bitcoins, the altcoins will be a better return on your investment. Just like gold. Some people can't get an ounce of gold. They can't afford it at $1,800. But you can get silver at $25 or $30 because your return investment is going to be greater. Right? I'm giving you assets. Biden is going to reverse all of what Trump did. Biden's administration crypto friendly, which is bullish. Exactly. Crypto friendly. Another thing about Biden, he is crypto friendly. Mr. Porter says Bitcoin has opened the door for people to create wealth outside the system, either exactly with other cryptocurrencies. Lewis says Wi-Fi, just wait until they incorporate Li-Fi. Gonna blow your mind. I have not heard of Li-Fi. What is that? Is it gonna be 6G technology? I know they have 5G. Is Li-Fi gonna be 6G? I haven't heard of Li-Fi. Curtis says, in the information age, you need real time, not delayed or stale. All right. Finney says, teach your distraction. So you all, let me share this with you, and then we're logging off. I will be live streaming with the financial health mentor. He is my mentor. He is the man, actually, that crowned me queen of credit and that gave me that brand and that marketing name, right? The queen of credit. And now he's deemed me another yet marketing name, the queen of crypto, right? Queen of crypto. And we will be live streaming Monday. This is actually him giving a presentation this morning on the home-based business. All right, this is the financial health mentor. We will be discussing the topic of cryptocurrency. This is him, right? We're also partners in the same home-based business. And the man that I owe for you all refer to me as the queen of credit. And here is the financial health mentor. We'll be live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. The Cortez Hustle Show is his website, right? And podcast. 7:00 a.m. Central Standard Time. You all pray for me, right? But we'll be live streaming at 7 a.m. that I'm still as alert and ready to talk about credit at that time. I'll share the link with you all. So, crypto and credit at that time. Queen of Credit there. He is the man that deemed me that name, man. And I just branded it and took off running with it. Let me see. I had his link. Okay, here it is. So be sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel, so you'll get that notification. And if you're not subscribed to his YouTube, then I try to have some type of way in which I'll be live. Let me see. On my channel, and you won't be able to see him, however, but you will definitely be able to hear, right? This 7:00 a.m. crypto. We're talking crypto. Everything you need to do to position yourself for this recession, because it's coming. It's here. It is here. It's not coming, but it's here. All right. So you're saying people with bad credit shouldn't invest in Bitcoin, but instead, what I'm saying is that if you have bad credit, yes, it is wiser to invest in the altcoins if you have low income, right? Because Bitcoin, probably the lowest price you're ever going to see, is going to take probably a dip between the transition. Just again, I think just to scare some people out to cash out, and that will maybe afraid. And if you don't have but a little bit, and what I mean by if you don't have at least 20,000 when it takes that dip, right, to invest in that, then you will be better off getting in the altcoins that's more affordable, that will give you a greater return on your investment. So that's my answer to that. And at the same time, you need to get your credit fixed, because with bad credit, you're paying out interest rates. Because of that, that's probably higher than the interest rate that you will receive on any crypto return. So some people have it backwards. They're like, I got bad credit, I'm doing this, but if I put my 600 stimulus in Bitcoin, then I probably can get 60,000. No, it's not. That's 600 at the price that Bitcoin is at now, $40,000. You're going to have such a small fraction of Bitcoin. It is not that won't help you. You're going to see small returns and small gains. But if you got your credit fixed, right? Then, for example, did you all know that there's some cryptocurrency that you can invest in with your credit cards? And if you got your credit cards at 0% interest rate, you're gaining interest on the day and using the Mace Money credit cards to get into crypto with no interest, right? All right, Sean says, Queen, another platform that I can stream on is Data TV. Thank you, Sean. I definitely will look into that. I'm just so shocked whenever I call your name. That was my ex-husband name, right? He definitely wouldn't have told me anything about crypto or investing. That's why it's X, right? There's one thing, we were definitely not on the same energy level or wavelengths or mental knowledge or information about. So Data.tv, Data crypto is up 100%. I definitely will look into that. So I'm telling you, man, and if you all are familiar with Mike Maloney and the author of Gold and Silver, he also educates about cryptocurrency as well. And he gave me another secret crypto to invest in. Man, another secret crypto to invest in. Will also be in my Queen of Credit book. Not just Bitcoin, not just the ones that you all know. You've never heard of this one. Not just Bitcoins, not Litecoin, it's not Ethereum, not XRP, it's not XLM. It's not any of those altcoins. And people, have somewhat of a knowledge. The very first thing you need to invest in is yourself and your financial knowledge. Now, you don't have to know all the intricate details of how Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and all this stuff work, but you should have an overall knowledge of what these altcoins and Bitcoins do. So I'm so excited about the Queen of Crypto book. As a matter of fact, let me log off so I can finish writing it for you all, because I've been getting requests by the hundreds, people already. And I'm ready for you, right? Because you got to get in. You got to get in. Like one altcoin won't be available to purchase after January the 19th. It's going to explode as well. So get that book. And yeah, my nails are long. I love my nails. After I got divorced, my nails grew and my hair grew. So I keep it, right? No, it's not Cardano. No, it's not ADA. It's not ADA at all. And so invest in the book. I'm not going to, give that information knowledge. The best return on investment is in your own financial education on yourself and not seeking free information. There's only so much I share with the public and so much I share with the private. Also, you all, if you're not a member of my Patreon, speaking of sharing information with the private, become a member of the Patreon account. Patreon members, you'll see those people that's commenting with that Patreon member symbol by their names, right? Patreon members, I probably would do an updated video for you all either Wednesday or Thursday of this week. It's only a small investment to get the insider secrets of $9.99 a month, right? Patreon member to get some more. Because honestly, I could have just made this a Patreon video and just show the timeline from 1913, 1971 now to 2021. But I want to share this with the public. So you all be prepared, but I don't share everything with the public. Most things, credit and crypto and all that, I do share in private. A small investment, the best investment you can make is in your financial education and in yourself. And this is the link for the Patreon channel. So glad that you all tuned in. Man, I really enjoyed this live stream. This is to your health and your wealth, right? Your credit and your cash flow. Most of all, your peace and prosperity. Do not forget about the Queen of Credit Crypto live stream Monday, 7 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, right? Central Standard Times. You all have a great Saturday. And Don't be distracted. Don't be distracted, but be a part of the greatest wealth transfer that this generation has ever seen, and position yourself. I said recession proof, but this is going to be depression. This is depression. They call it the Great Depression 2.0. So you need to get depression proof. Comparing it to the 19 depression period between 1929 and in the 1930s. 1933 when it actually hit. 1929, the biggest stock market crash took place. And what a lot of people don't know is that last year, while a lot of people were quarantined, the biggest stock market crash, just like in the 1930s, happened in March of 2020. Go Google it. While a lot of people were quarantined, the biggest stock market crash in history happened in March of 2019. And it's, 2020, in March of 2020. Biggest stock market crash in history. Go Google it. And in September of 2019, the banks went broke. The repo market happened. And coincidentally, then in December, we came out with something that's been on the back of Lysol bottles for 20 years that cures itself like a common cold does. Or was it that? Or was it the new 5G technology that's needed to power this crypto world economy that we're headed to? What's the investment? I don't charge anything. To analyze someone's credit, I've been working with a credit company for a year only to remove one thing off my credit report. The investment is a low investment of $125 because you have to pay for my knowledge and time and information. So just a low investment of $125 to analyze your credit to see what we need to do. I say we because you have to work with me, how it needs to be done, and exactly what needs to be disputed to increase your credit. Thank you for joining. I have a new Patreon member. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you already have that one video in there in their channel. Watch that one video first. Telling you, you're going to be surprised at the things that has happened in this economy. And you will begin to see crystal clear of where we're headed now. There's some information in there about the Titanic and the truth behind that and the rich and wealth of what happened with the Titanic, right? So you definitely already have that in that video. So definitely watch that video on the Patreon channel. Thank you so much. The silver stacking report, great question, is $35, another small investment. You can also find it on fixmycreditandcash.com. And I'm going to change. I'm getting a new cover page for the silver stacking report. I'm going to change the silver stacking report from being available on this website. And I'm going to have a completely different website for that report. But as of right now, it's still on this website, fixmycreditandcash.com. This website will only be devoted to credit help and the home-based business information, right? Even if you want information on the home-based business, it's a tab here. This will be moved to another website. It's going to be www.buy Bitcoin, stack silver, get gold, because I will be doing a Queen of Coins, get gold report. And all three with the Queen of Crypto, crypto report will be available on that website too. And I have another website, but it's just a $35 investment. The number 5 on this list brings you a 300% return. And another website is called Cash on Crypto. It's crypto with a K, as in kryptonite, Superman's kryptonite. And on that website, only the Queen of Crypto report will be available. But people, you never go wrong with cryptocurrency, gold, and silver, right? With cryptocurrency, gold, and silver. So thank you. Yes, so glad. The Patreon channel, this is the link here for the Patreon channel to join. And the video is already in the channel once you join, right? Oh, I'm sorry. She said she couldn't hear me. I'm glad you moved on. Glad you moved on. Again, welcome. Thank you so much, Sean. Welcome to the channel. Sean, I want you to join as well. I need your expertise in it. So come on and join, and we can have those conversations in that group about your knowledge and bring it to the forefront as well. So I'm signing out, like the preacher would say, for the third time. I probably will see you all tomorrow live stream. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that bell notification button so you're notified whenever I go live. And have a great Saturday evening as well. Okay, you joined, so make sure you watch that video, the first video in the Patreon channel. Right? I think I just created this like 2 weeks ago. So make sure you watch that first video as well.